And so here I am, your humble narrator, braving the elements with all the grace of a wet cat. The rain falls, the forest mocks, and I run toward what promises to be either glorious treasure or certain death. Probably both. I've now adopted what I call tactical crawling, which is just regular crawling but with more panic. Every rustle of leaves could be one of the 119 other murder hobos who call this island home. The tension is palpable, much like my growing regret. A chest. Hope, promise, empty. Of course it's empty. I've found the equivalent of a cereal box after someone already took the prize. This close to the bunker, I'm basically looting someone else's garbage. Pro tip for all you aspiring urban explorers. If you're going to lie on top of an abandoned bunker to eavesdrop, maybe don't have hearing so good. You can distinguish between the footsteps of a pigeon and the footsteps of a slightly annoyed bunker-dwelling murder enthusiast. My body was on the surface, but my ears were already 10 feet underground, taking a full audio tour of every single reason this was a catastrophically bad idea. I've been crawling for so long I'm starting to identify as a slug. My knees are screaming, my dignity is gone, but at least I'm stealthy, if stealth means moving at the speed of snail. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this here. The thought of explaining to my insurer how I lost a full screwdriver set to a feral bunker dweller is a bridge too far. In my infinite wisdom, I've brought a bow, but forgotten the arrows. The puppets seem unimpressed. Time for what military strategists call tactical retreat, and what I call running away screaming. The side doors were open. A sign more eloquent than any "keep out" scrawled in blood. A clear, inviting, and deeply stupid "come on in." Every instinct screamed to turn back. But here I am, because my subscription to self-preservation officially ran out 3 panic attacks ago. Behold, the security system from hell. I have 2 minutes to solve what appears to be a math problem designed by a drunk. The numbers aren't mathing, the logic isn't logicking. Time to employ the oldest hacking technique known to man, random button mashing. I did it. Through sheer dumb luck and button violence, the doors open. I feel like a genius, albeit the kind of genius who still can't figure out how to use the self-checkout at Walmart. And so I began the world's most awkward slow-motion waddle into the dark. Back screaming, knees popping. This is the boring, painful price of not getting murdered. And the whole time, my ears are picking up every little sound from the void. The clicks of players, the creepy squeaks of puppets, and just a low, deep hum of something else. The big, scary, God knows what. All this effort just to avoid becoming part of the bunker's decor. Music to my ears, the sweet sound of NPCs banging on doors, nature's way of saying the coast is clear of actual players who would murder me for my slightly used underwear. Of course, the legendary players are apparently helpless against the advanced technology of a door. So the one fragile meat sack with a functioning set of opposable thumbs has to go and do it for them. Truly, I am the grand janitor of this apocalypse, mopping up the mess before the real heroes can even figure out how to leave the room. All right, moment of truth. Time to open door number 2, and as you can see, I am a picture of pure, unshakable competence. Behold the master at work, conducting a symphony of tapping switches randomly.
Too slow. We'll need to train more.
Crouched behind a stack of crates that smell vaguely of despair and forgotten OSHA violations, I become the star of a straight-to-VHS action thriller. I am the hero this situation doesn't deserve, a spectral janitor waiting to clean up a mess that hasn't even happened yet, all while the brain trust on the other side of the door is probably still trying to solve the ancient puzzle of a doorknob.
Take cover!
And so the hero returns to the scene of his first crime against courage. The bag, a lonely monument to my former, slightly more sensible self, still waits. Let's see if my don't lose the screwdrivers strategy was, in fact, a stroke of genius, or just the prelude to dying empty-handed. Just as I'm about to leave, a gentleman caller arrives. How thoughtful of him to deliver his head directly into my shotgun's blast radius. Modern dating is so efficient. Trying to quietly liberate this guy's pockets from their contents, but the local puppet population has decided it's time for a synchronized marching routine. Right here, right now. It seems my looting efforts have coincided with their sudden, overwhelming interest in, well, me. Great. Another guest for the party. Well, let's send him my signature welcoming gift. A high-velocity lead to relieve him of his thinking duties. Permanently. One less problem to worry about. The player count just went down by 1. Second target is neutralized. And by neutralized, I mean I may have briefly and audibly expressed the very essence of my soul into my tactical cargo pants. The man moved with the grace of a startled fridge, and my body responded with the force of a religious experience. For a single, crystalline moment, the only thing between me and a full-blown code brown was a threadbare pair of polyester and the cold, uncaring embrace of a storage crate. I've become a walking junkyard. Every step feels like I'm carrying the weight of my poor life choices. The puppets sense my weakness and begin their assault. This is what I get for being a hoarder. The situation has escalated from concerning to I should have written a will. I'm limping, bleeding, and desperately trying to reload while being swarmed. Note to self, next time, bring more than 3 bullets. And now for the grand tactical retreat, which in practice means I'm limping like a mother trucker over here. So much for a quiet exfil. I've found the sacred healing bush. I cram myself into foliage like a grown man playing hide-and-seek with death. The bush smells of regret and poor decisions, but it beats being dead. Viewers, I suggest you settle in, maybe get a snack, maybe 2, because we are about to embark on an epoch, a saga, a veritable Lord of the Rings trilogy of me being intimately acquainted with this particular shrub. For some, this is a trial, a test of patience and will. But for a cultured segment of my audience, for those who find a certain rustic charm in the great outdoors, well, you already know. A long time in a bush isn't a punishment. It's a lifestyle choice, a return to a simpler, more verdant embrace, if you know what I mean. For the rest of you, welcome to my green, prickly hell. wait, healing at the speed of government bureaucracy. I can hear other people having the fun I plan to have, looting my bunker, living my dreams. The jealousy is palpable. And so I have achieved a state of perfect, miserable symbiosis with the local flora. I am no longer a man hiding in a bush. I am a bush that happens to have a nervous system and a deep, profound regret. We have been here so long, this shrub and I, that seasons have begun to change. Small civilizations have risen and fallen in the shadow of my left boot. I have felt the slow, geological creep of roots beginning to claim my legs as their own. My body has consumed its emergency rations and has now moved on to metabolizing my own sense of dignity. This isn't a tactical recovery anymore. This is an archaeological dig. Future historians will carbon date the layers of my stubbornness and find a new epoch, the great bush-sitting agony, a period defined by numb legs, the gentle whisper of leaves against your cheek, and the slow, dawning horror that you may, in fact, become a permanent landmark. Here lies a guy who really needed a minute which is now stretched into what feels like the entire runtime of Gilligan's Island, including the movies, all because I stubbed my toe on a destiny that clearly hated me. Standing here, breathing in the crisp air of freedom, two very angry men are still down there wondering what that last noise was. Crossroads. Do I choose safety and sanity? Or do I ditch the backpack and go full agent of chaos on those two poor souls downstairs? The smart move is survival. Faced with certain death or living to fight another day, I choose cowardice. but let's call it strategic retreat. I'll keep my screwdrivers for a future that may never come, like a squirrel storing nuts for an apocalypse. Now for the final challenge, remembering where I parked. I wander the landscape like a dad at the mall, growing increasingly concerned that my bike has been stolen or, more embarrassingly, that I just forgot where I left it. I am struggling to locate the escape vehicle. My internal GPS is throwing a 404 error. The realization is dawning. I am now stranded in the world's worst theme park, and the only ride home is missing. And thus ends another day in SCUM, where the real victory isn't surviving, but remembering where you parked your damn bike. Until next time, dear viewer, may your loot be plentiful and your puppets be slow.